Hi, this is Tim from Latest 3DS Games. I'm here with a bit of gameplay of New Super Mario Bros. 2 with Luigi. And lots of people have been asking for some tips, hints, things like that on YouTube. Well, I wouldn't have said I'm the best person to maybe do that, but I'm more than happy to share my thoughts on YouTube and, you know, how you can possibly get more views and give some tips. And you may agree with them and you may not, and that's absolutely fine. You know, I think that's a good point to make, really. You know, especially on YouTube, everyone isn't going to agree with you by any stretch of the imagination, and that's an important thing to maybe note first. If you're easily upset or, you know, very, very sensitive, then you're going to find, if you've got your comments enabled, you're going to get some comments you don't like, and you might get them, you know, on a regular basis. So, you know, you need to have a bit of a thick skin for starters on YouTube. People say it's a bit of a faceless internet, and people say some not very nice things because, you know, they're not saying it to anyone's face, and there's not going to be any real response apart from maybe a comment back, things like that. So you need to be pretty thick-skinned, and I think you need to be with things like your responses and comments. You need to be sensible. You need to kind of ignore a lot of it. You know, when you get stuff, it's not that often, to be honest, depending on what you put on your channel, of course. But you know, you're going to get good reaction. You're going to get bad reaction. Be prepared. Don't expect it to be all good, because it won't be. And I get even bad comments when I've got, you know, Kieran doing videos, you know, even not very nice things said about Kieran sometimes. Unfortunately, as I said, it's the faceless internet, so be prepared first of all, and be careful with your responses. Always try and be nice to people, even if they're not being nice back to you. You know, treat everyone as you want to be treated yourself, even if they're not treating you too nice. Then try and be polite back, or, you know, worst comes to worst, you get really offensive, horrible comments, you can always delete them. Just ignore them, basically. Otherwise you end up, if you respond to all the comments you don't like, you end up with heaps of arguments and silliness on your channel. So that's a good point to start off with. Another good thing to say, really, or helpful thing, is do something you want to do. So if you enjoy doing video games, then why not make a channel about video gaming? If you hate video games, you really don't like playing them, but you think, well, hey, I'm going to get buckets of views if I do a gaming channel, I'm going to do that. But you know, you're going to struggle after a while. You might be able to keep it up for a while, but it's going to show after a while if you're really not enjoying it. Your subscribers are going to know you don't really like video games, and they're going to unsubscribe. You're not going to maybe get the regular views and things like that. So do something you enjoy doing. Very important. Now, a lot of people say, you know, don't do it for the money. You know, don't just do it for money. And if you do it for money, then, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, I don't entirely agree with that. What I mean is, I definitely should do it just for fun and entertainment first. But there's nothing wrong with thinking, hey, I might earn a little bit of money doing this. You know, it's something I like doing. You know, it'll pay for some of my games, for instance. If you set out just to make a heap of cash, then sure, you've almost certainly got the wrong attitude. But if you set out to, you know, make a little bit of money, hopefully, but still have a lot of fun, maybe pay for some games or whatever else you do, then I really don't see any problem with that at all. So, you know, nothing wrong with that, you know, thing of, well, you know, I want to earn a little bit of money and try and do, well on YouTube at the same time. But if you just set out for all cash, 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 sure, I understand that point of view. You're not really going to get anywhere, and you're going to get frustrated very quickly as well. So certainly just enjoy it, have fun, and yeah, if you can make a little bit of money on the side, that's fine. Now, things to where you can go right and wrong. Well, I can certainly tell you where I've regularly gone right and wrong. And trying to be consistent. Well, there's lots of different ways of being consistent and inconsistent and things like that. Now, I've tried to be consistent. Now, when I started my channel last May, 3DS was still pretty new, and not that many games out. I ended up getting heaps of games, and as the year went on, more and more games came out, and I ended up getting more and more games because at that time I had a little bit of extra money from my previous job, so I decided to get some extra games and try and cover as many games, try and build my channel quite quickly. Again, nothing wrong with that. And by the way, I wasn't earning any money at all. I wasn't monetized or anything at all on my channel while I was buying loads and loads of games. Didn't even know I could get monetized for a long time. So just to point that out. So I was just having lots of fun, buying lots of games, and building the channel up pretty quickly. And obviously, as more and more games came out, I tried to cover more and more games, but you can only do so much. And where I did go wrong is, and this comes to do with consistency, is I literally just tried to cover so many games. It was just ridiculous. And there was an awful lot of games that came out at once. I didn't have the fastest internet connection at the time either. I had a very slow internet connection, and ended up really starting lots of Let's Plays, some of which I still haven't finished, and that obviously led to inconsistencies in the channel. So good tip is to, you know, try and keep it in proportion, in perspective. Try not to start too much stuff at once, and try and get things done, as I haven't done. That's where I have gone wrong. Started way too many Let's Plays, and as you can see, I'm finishing off quite a number of them actually now, and but it's very difficult to catch up basically. So just try not to start too much at once, you know, and then you'll build up consistency with your channel, and you'll build your subscribers and views at the same time. So that really, I mean, with consistency as well, you can also be consistent with what you're putting up. So if you're doing, like, for instance, I do news, this is where I'm better. I do news, and I've also obviously introduced shows. So I do regular news, and I do regular eShop, which I've done for months and months now, and the news. And I'm trying to concentrate on this at the same time. It's quite difficult. And that's where my consistency has been much better, and that will really help your channel. So the more consistent you can be, and like I said, try not to start too many things at once, and I think, you know, you'll do well. And also, I think if you work hard, that's one of the biggest things, is to work really hard at your channel if you want to build it up. You know, at the start, you might not get many views, you probably won't get many subscribers, but, you know, if you keep at it and do regular videos on a regular basis, you will build up your views, you'll build up your subscribers, and you'll also probably make some good friends on YouTube as well. And there's lots of people who are really helpful on YouTube, and as you grow on YouTube, you'll get in contact, I'm sure, with lots of people who'll be quite willing to help you out. There'll be probably people who don't really want to help you out as well, but, you know, that's just the nature of the internet. So other than that, as I concentrate again, or try and concentrate, Bit of consistency, work hard, do what you want to do, don't be trying to do stuff just for the views. You know, there's loads of other tips that I could give you, and I'm trying to think of them as I go along. One good tip, for instance, on reviews and gaming is sometimes you are going to need to try and get like the latest thing that's come out. So if, for instance, you do games, it's quite important to try and get some games as early as you can. Now, if you're on limited funds, it is really difficult to get, you know, games as soon as they come out, especially if you're kind of younger and you've got no income, you've not got a job or anything, you're relying on parents or whatever to buy them. It's obviously going to be pretty difficult to do that. But if you can, certainly maybe just get 1 or 2 big games a year, or every, you know, 1 or 2 as whenever you can afford them. So if, for instance, new Super Mario Bros. 2 comes out, try and get it as soon as you possibly can, and it's going to help your channel. So it doesn't have to be that, that's just for gaming example. So if for instance you're into Lego, and lots of people are into Lego on YouTube, and there's a new Lego sets coming out, for instance Lord of the Rings came out recently, then you could maybe get one of the smaller sets or one of the figures or whatever as it comes out, which might only cost a small amount of money, and review that. If you do those sorts of Lego reviews or iMotion or whatever you do, then I think that really can help your channel, and can quite often kickstart your channel as well. If you get sort of quite decent views on one video, people will watch your other videos, and you know, you'll start to pick up views and subscribers. So it can be really helpful to bring. It's not always possible to do that, obviously, as I've said, depending on how you're funded, but it's always worth doing. And even if you don't have many funds, like I've given the example with the Lego, it doesn't need to cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds to be able to do that. You can still do that on a small budget, in a small way. So that's quite a good tip, and works quite well. Other tips, whoops, be good at Mario, that's a good tip when you play it. Other tips I'm trying to think of. Okay, so other tips I've been trying to think of, and one of the things that I certainly don't do well enough, and I should do more, is promote myself better. And maybe that's because I'm from the UK, I don't know what that is, but you know, there's nothing wrong with asking for people to subscribe on your videos, to like your videos. You know, people will do, they will respond, and they will like your videos and they will subscribe. I do, but only very occasionally. I do in the text on the back end of my videos, but rarely will you see me asking people to subscribe on my videos. Maybe 1 in every 20 videos or something I might actually mention it. Yeah, so I'm not the greatest at promoting myself, which is silly really, because there's no reason why I shouldn't. You know, I'm trying to get more views, more subscribers. Like I said, maybe it's because I'm from the UK or something like that, but yeah, I can certainly do more to promote myself, and it's certainly going to help if you do that on your channel. So tell people to subscribe to you, to like you, to watch your videos. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe don't, you know, I see some people and they bang on about it all the time, and I can imagine that gets pretty annoying when you're basically begging for subscribers maybe, or begging for views. That's not going to go down well maybe with people, but like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just asking people to watch your videos and like and subscribe to you. So that'll certainly help your channel, and you can always put it in the description as well, and I do that bit. I do it in the description now, but I do miserably fail in a general sort of asking way, like I said, which is just silly really, because people will respond to you. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here because I've been rambling on, and you're probably bored senseless by now. I'm just trying to think of some other sort of general tips, and kind of going back to being nice to people, and to do with the comments, and people are going to not always leave you the greatest comments. You need to be prepared for that, and just saying to react well to people even if they aren't nice. Going back to that a little bit, I think a good tip as well is to post comments on other people, and that, again, this is where I fail a little bit. I do watch other people's videos, and I do subscribe to other people, but I don't comment as often as I should, and again, that's another thing which I you know, slip up on. A lot of that's due to time and things like that, so I don't watch as many videos as I would do if I was, you know, didn't have my own YouTube channels. I would certainly watch more YouTube videos, and if you like people's videos, if you subscribe to people, make comments, then people will look at your comments, they'll go to your channel, and they may well subscribe to you, especially if, for instance, you cover Nintendo 3DS and you're on someone else's channel and you comment on a video, your channel's about Nintendo 3DS, and there's a good chance that someone's going to go along, have a look at your channel, like what you're doing, and subscribe, you know, and watch your videos as well. So comment on other people's videos in a nice way, obviously, and like people's videos, because people will see that in your feedback. So there's just a bucket of stuff that you can do from that point of view to help do well on YouTube, and also to do with comments and things like that. Just before I go, when people comment on your videos, it's very, you know, once you've built up quite a big base of videos and that, you're going to get quite a lot of comments, and it's going to be impossible, as I find it really difficult to, there's no way I can respond to all the comments on my videos. That would be impossible. But certainly, you know, try and keep up to date with your latest videos, and try and respond to some of the comments if you can. But what I always try and do is try and still respond to every single personal message I get. And I think, you know, it's really important to try and keep involved with the people who are helping your channel and supporting your channel, your subscribers, and to regularly bother to comment on your videos, you know. And when people send you a personal message, they want to get an answer, and I appreciate probably if you've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you're going to get buckets and buckets of personal messages. At that point, it might be almost impossible, again, be like comments, it would be impossible to respond to everyone. But in your early stages, you know, respond to as much as you can with comments, to the comments and to the personal messages, because obviously maybe at the start you're not going to have that many videos, you're not going to get that many comments and personal messages, but as it builds up, try and just maybe keep in touch with your personal messages, and try and respond to everyone, which is what I do try and do. I do try and keep in touch with my personal messages still, and I do respond to everyone. So that's pretty much it. I think I've rambled on, so I'm going to leave it there, and what I'm going to do is make another video at some point in the future, it won't be too long from now, about monetization, because a lot of people have asked me monetization and partnership about that, so I thought I'm going to make a video on that. So I will do one on that, whoops, very soon. So I'm going to leave it there as Luigi dies yet again, and this has been Tim at Latest 3DS Games. Thanks for watching.